So yeah, this is Post-Human Project. I guess we'll just start with my demo reel, and we'll kind of go from there. Thank you. So that says a little bit about me. Obviously, I'm a huge nerd and comic book geek, and that's kind of why I had to make a superhero film. My day job is at newsok.com in the Oklahoman. I love it there. So you can see a lot of the videos were from that. I've done over 100 music videos. I constantly have to just keep creating, and that's kind of what I do, what I have to do. And so what I'm going to kind of share today is just kind of low-key of how we raised our loyal and engaged audience online, on Facebook and on YouTube for this film, and just kind of share the process of making a feature film and what that's all about. It's everything from pre-production into post-production and where we're at now, which is the festival circuit. So this is, I promise it's not all videos, but we'll show you the trailer real quick before we kind of get into everything.
Yesterday, I woke up and I thought I knew everything there was to know about my life, but I was wrong. And I wasn't just wrong about my life, I was wrong about my friends, about my family, about where I come from. Way, way wrong.
Hey! You're not Dad. Dad left.
Hey! Denny, just one last mountain before you walk across that stage and into the rest of your life.
Okay, please.
Have you lost your freaking mind? I'm going with you.
We're about to graduate soon. At this moment, we should have no stress, not a care in the world. No one can stop us.
Cross my heart and hope to fly.
Hope to die.
Who hopes for that?
Is it fast enough?
Where's Denny?
What did I just do? Denny, what are we going to do?
I don't know. If we don't do something, he's gonna die.
I didn't mean to do it. I just saw him threatening you, and then my hands, they started burning.
We still have energy in us.
I just got a bullet.
Let's get those engines lit. I didn't mean what I said. I didn't mean what I said. I love you more than this. I love you more than this. There's so much energy in us.
Gonna come willingly? You have to make this a whole thing.
So what you're saying is you all turned me and my friends into super people?
Us in charge of the world. What could possibly go wrong with that?
So that was our trailer. Basically, thanks. Basically, what we did is nothing magic. We didn't, even through YouTube videos, not searching Google Analytics and what's popular and whatever. I just kind of done what I'm passionate about, which is super geek and nerdy things. And I think that's what ends up showing in the final product. If you're not passionate about it, just forget it. Don't even try it, because it's not going to show. And basically, so through Posthuman, we just started sharing everything on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter throughout the whole project, and that's kind of how we gained our audience. Starting with script writing, how this whole thing started. A buddy of mine, Matt Price, he wrote our initial script. He is the features editor at the Oklahoman, and he wrote the first script. And what we basically want to try to do is make a movie that kind of blended my two favorite genres, which is kind of the heart of an 80s John Hughes film, and then sort of the flair of J.J. Abrams, so to say. And I think you can kind of see that from the trailer. It's a teen movie that has a lot of heart to it, but it's also a superhero film. And so he got our first draft, and then we brought in Sterling Gates, who's a DC Comics writer from L.A., and he has some Oklahoma ties, and he helped to bring our script a little bit deeper, a little bit more angsty, and kind of what we were going for there. And then fundraising. This is called the Three Amigos strategy to fundraising. So this can kind of apply to whatever you're trying to fundraise for. So you got the Three Amigos. Who's seen the Three Amigos? Everybody? Most everybody? Awesome. Okay, this is going to go well. So you have the Three Amigos. You got Dusty Bottoms, Lucky Day, and Ned Nederlander, right? And they travel to Santa Poco to save everyone from the infamous El Guapo. That's right. And so you got this guy, and in their life, everyone has their own El Guapo. And for us, it was, creating a feature film, which was, took us 2.5 years to make. So how do we do this? How do we start fundraising this? For them, they sat around and they said, we can sew. So that's how they came up. They sewed a bunch of different costumes. That's how they ended up defeating El Guapo. For us, we kind of sat around as producers. There's Vahid right there with Freestyle. We sat around and said, what do we do? I've done a bunch of music videos, so we did 3 different benefit concerts. One was at Myriad Gardens, one was at camps, and then one was at Opolis in Norman. And then we also did 2 Indiegogo campaigns, which is like Kickstarter, it's a crowdfunding campaign. And then we did our biggest fundraiser was at Will Rogers. It was a benefit dinner, and that night we raised over $40,000 just that night. And Kurt Fleischfresher, I don't know if you even know who that is. He's amazing, and he helped us kind of put on that whole event. And then another part of pre-production is location scouting. We shot all over Oklahoma, it seems like, from Quartz Mountain, where we spent 6 days there, to Norman, Oklahoma City. But yeah, a lot of the mountain stuff we actually did in Quartz Mountain. That's something I think a lot of people don't know, is that we have a lot of different, they're foothills, but if you shoot it right, it kind of looks like mountains. But there's a lot of different variety of landscapes in Oklahoma. Storyboarding. Alex Waldo, very talented storyboard artist, just out of college at Oklahoma Christian. And he joined our team to storyboard the whole film. And then even more stuff. So this is a lot of stuff that, going into this, I've done a lot of music videos and short films, stuff like that, that you have to do. So considering all of the hair and makeup and special effects, which can be visual effects, but also special effects makeup involved, wardrobe, hair, color scheme of the film. So our reds and blues were our hero colors, and our greens and purples were our bad guy colors. And insurance for the film, because you have to have that in case someone gets hurt. Camera, production gear, which is from Freestyle Productions. And then fight choreography, just every single thing that you need to do to put together a feature film. And this is one example of kind of during production of how much time stuff takes. is the actual shot in the film. So really all of that for a 4-second shot. It was 6 hours, I believe, of graffitiing the wall, and then we had to set up lighting and stuff for that night. And yeah, we had to paint the wall back that night at 4 a.m. when we finished wrapping and shooting for the day. But all of this stuff we were just sharing is stuff that we were passionate about, excited about, and we're gaining an audience, some before we were even shooting during the fundraiser stuff. And that's something I actually didn't realize, kind of back to the fundraising, is that, you know, we were doing that to try to raise money and so we could fund our film, but through that we ended up gaining an audience through especially the concerts and stuff like that, that it was kind of a bonus for us, I guess. And then, so this is a little bit of production and start with table read. For us, it's fairly typical shooting days, 28 days of shooting. And a lot of people don't realize this, like on a film shooting day, it's not like a 7-8 hour day. It's 12 to 15 hour days, and if you have stuff that's at night, then you're setting up lighting for 4 or so hours and then shooting. So say you started at 5, then you're probably going at least until 5 in the morning, if not 6 as the sun's rising the next day. And then post-production, so on this project, I was director, one of the producers. I edited the basic edit of the film and did about 80% of the visual effects. We had over 530 shots that needed some sort of visual effects to it. And each of the visual effects took, on average, anywhere from 6 to 8 hours for a 4-second shot. So that was 10 months of my life, and just being really honest, it almost killed me. I was editing 3 to 4 days a week until 4 a.m. and then take a nap and then get up and go to my job at the Oklahoman. And throughout all of that, my wife and I had our first beautiful child, Sloan. And so trying to be a dad when I can through that, and it was just insane. But we got it done. And then sound design, color grade, you know, all this stuff that kind of goes into post-production of a film. Color grade over here on the left, if you can kind of see that. The top one was the original shot. The second one was kind of a first pass at it, and the second one was HDR composite, where you can kind of see the background as well in the picture. And here's another kind of 2 good examples of post-production. On the right is a day for night shot, so obviously we don't have enough lights or gear to light up the mountains. So we shot it during the day and then inversed the colors and kind of did our video magic there, added lights to the car and on the ground and all that stuff as the car drives by. And then over here, this is probably the biggest shot. You kind of saw it in the trailer of the slow motion 360 fire shot. Each one of her arms to render out was 23 hours of rendering time. And we basically had to make a particle from scratch in post-production. And then after we finished the film, we're kind of on to festivals. We premiered here at Dead Center to 2 sold-out crowds, which that whole weekend was surreal, of spending this much time and just on a computer working on stuff, and to see people actually show up to your film and had to turn away over 400 people to those screenings. So obviously our social marketing worked at least a little bit. And we won the Best Oklahoma Film at that festival. We had a standing ovation, all that kind of good stuff. It was like I said, it was a pretty surreal experience. And then the next 2 weeks later, we took it to Miami SuperCon, and we won Best Editing at that festival, and we also sold out our show there. So that was a whole other experience, going somewhere where no one has any idea who we are and still able to sell out our show. And then after that, and leading into Comic-Con, which is a couple weeks after that, we started getting all kinds of press from LA Times and local press and Ain't It Cool News and Geeks Are Sexy. All these kind of things that I follow as a nerd are writing about our film. And then going to Comic-Con, it was a lifelong dream of mine. I don't know if you guys heard of San Diego Comic-Con, I guess. So, like I said, it's been a lifelong dream, and they start the tickets around January, and they're sold out in 2 days. So to have a film there that I made and got to be a part of it was pretty awesome. And we met all kinds of producers and actors and all that kind of good stuff as well. And then at Fly Film Festival in Enid, we won 3 awards, and they're really 3 of the top awards. The best feature of the festival, Best Oklahoma Film, and Best Actor for our lead, Kyle Whalen. And then upcoming events, I don't really want to recommend that you do this, I guess, but we have a screening in Ardmore at 4, so if you want to duck out and go to it. It's part of Dead Center's fall tour. It's a free event tonight in Ardmore. We also have a screening in LA tonight, and then again, we have more coming up in Florida and Texas, and a lot of these festivals we don't even hear back until 3 or 4 weeks before. So, but there's a lot coming up all over the U.S. And so, out of all of this said and how all this work, I like this quote from Walt Disney. It's kind of fun to do the impossible. So although it was insanely hard, I almost killed myself, and I may have not done it if I knew exactly how hard of work it was all going to be. But I think that's part of it, kind of going in blindly and having that passion. But I love that quote because after all of this, I guess, affirmation that we've done all this work and people are digging what we created and are getting what we tried to accomplish. Really what we wanted to try to do, kind of getting back to that, besides kind of the John Hughes thing, is as a teenager, I kind of remember this, is you kind of wake up in certain parts of your life and feel like your life is changing before your eyes. And so really the superhero element to this film, although I'm a huge superhero fan, it's really to just kind of not dramatize, hit on that fact and show that through their superpowers. All of the 5 teens, their powers end up being what they want or need most in life. So as you see, Josh Bonzo, who plays Adam Hall, is kind of the star basketball player, and they're all graduating high school, by the way. And he is going to Florida, going to college in Florida, and so he is going to miss his friends because they're all splitting up. And so he ends up getting teleporting powers so he can see them, kind of thing. So all their powers have to do with kind of what they want or need most in life. But I guess that's about it.
Okay. So we work together, and I know what our employer's vacation policy is like. 28 days of filming. How the heck did you manage to wrangle that?
Yeah, we just made it work.
Okay, well, then. Fair enough. One thing that I notice and love about what you do, and I don't think we necessarily got a picture of that, the specific angle of it, right, is that basically you are constantly churning out content for people. And it's not just content. It's like every day, and sometimes more than once a day, it's another amazing piece of content. It's like a look into how you did this shot, or here's the update on the poster, and here's this, and here's that. What's going on there? How do you find the time? What's your ethos? Yeah,
I mean, it's not really anything magical. It's just, really, I'm just kind of sitting back and saying, hey, I think that's interesting. Hopefully other people think that's interesting too. But yeah, it's a whole, other side job through that, not only director, but also doing social media through it as well. I don't know, it's kind of part of my life, I guess.
Yeah. How many times in a week would you say that you would post something, a piece of content that relates to the film over the last year?
Especially during production when we were actually filming, I try to do 3 or 4 things a day. And then after that, as things are kind of winding down, doing editing a few times a week, I guess. But again, I didn't really want to post something just to post something. Yeah. I wanted it to be something intriguing and something that we were working on.
And that really comes across. Every time I would see something in my feed, it would literally be like, oh, wow. Like, it would be worth seeing every time. And that's something really, I think, that everybody can learn from. So that is amazing. What you do is amazing. I already said how I feel about you. Let's open up questions from folks.
Go for it.
Boris.
So I said this earlier, but we have one actually here at 4 p.m. In Ardmore. We have in 2 weeks. Here's another part of the film festival circuit. Right now, as we're looking for distribution and stuff like that, we can't legally screen it ourselves, which is kind of a pain. But so it has to be through a film festival. And so there's one coming up in Stillwater that we got in called Red Dirt International. I think it's in 2 weeks. Again, on posthumanmovie.com, you could find all of our screening times.
If you don't stop promoting this 4 p.m. showing, we're going to pop a cap in your ass.
There you go. Do you want to call these out?
No,
okay.
I'll
in the back.
Take a step back.
Yeah, it was really important. Yeah, it was really important to me because I want to be a great dad. I also wanted to finish this film at some point. This is going to sound kind of cheesy, but it's real. I was pretty depressed for a while of going through the editing stages. And when I'd sit down and look at Sloan, our daughter, I would kind of forget about everything that was happening and how hard all the work was. Like seeing this child and she's been an amazing baby. She's a little over a year old now. That my wife and I, created. I don't know how to explain it, but I would just kind of forget about about how hard everything was for a little bit.
Which
so she
do you
probably
love
helped
more?
me more than I was helping her.
Which do you love more, the baby or the film?
Baby. So there's two babies. There's a film baby and a baby.
Dick.
What is your goal of this movie now? Are you going to be able to get into the public screening at some point after you go through the process of festival?
Yeah, I think every filmmaker's goal is, they want to sell their film to a studio so they can distribute it. I think a festival or a theatrical release is maybe out of our reach because we don't have any stars. But it could. It's a superhero film, and I don't know why it's winning awards and getting into all these festivals and stuff. But obviously, we're super proud of that.
Should we tweet MGM or
You can.
Tony or
I can't talk a lot about that right now, but a lot of buzz has happened, especially since Comic-Con, and several studios are interested.
Yeah, best of luck with that.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Corey.
Why am I here? That's a really good question. A big part of everything that I do, literally, whether it's music video or some of the stop motion viral videos, I don't really like that word, but is I love that I am from Oklahoma, and I don't want. I'm gonna see if I could say this. I have a lot of passion for this topic. I want to showcase and show the world what a bunch of Okies can do here in Oklahoma, through whatever that is. And part of actually my tagline for Reckless Abandonment Pictures is creating a viewing experience to share with the world. And, obviously I don't say Okies in there, but it's a big part. So even when I'm doing a stop motion, like the Toy and Action Figure Museum sponsors it, so they provide all the toys. And I normally hook up with Nathan Poppy, which Ryan talked about him earlier. He does some of the colorful background artwork. And then we hook up with a local band. So like Boom Bang did our Ninja Turtles one, and so they covered the song. And so it got featured by, I don't know, tens of thousands of blogs from LA Times, USA Today, all over the world. But I know at the heart of it, it's all, Oklahoma-based talent. Does that answer your question? I want to make sure, and some of our actors are moving out to LA and stuff like that, and we're still at the beginning stages of our filmmaking here in Oklahoma. And I'm proud to kind of be sort of on the forefront of stuff that looks this great. I guess I feel weird saying that. Yeah. But I want to build that community, and it's growing like crazy through Dead Center and everything else, and all those film initiatives that are happening. And I don't know if you guys know this, like kind of the word on the street in the festival circuit in the U.S. Not only our film, but that some amazing films are coming out of Oklahoma right now, and it's what people are talking about.
If you want to get involved in that scene, sitting in this audience, what should you do?
As far as I guess message us. Lance McDaniel and Kim Haywood at Dead Center are another great contacts. All kinds of things. It's hard to see where to start. We had over 250 people on our crew. You could probably message almost any one of them and
Right.
kind of see what they're working on.
Just throw your hat in the ring.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Though, if you didn't hear, the Oklahoma Film and Music Office is a great place to start.
Question at the back.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we're aiming towards. Is basically a studio will buy, and I don't know if you guys know this, but like each country is a different sale. So we have like the North American sale, and then like the Japanese sale, the Japan sale, and Germany, and whatever else. But that's kind of my goal and hope is that this film gets in every Best Buy and Walmart and Target and all that kind of stuff.
And then one more.
Reading on the screen, it says you raised a low-budget film, but yet at a single fundraiser you raised $40,000, so you spent money on this. How much did it actually cost you over the 2.5 years of doing it? And were most of the 250 volunteers, did it have to be spent in other areas?
That's a really great question. Next question. No, that's something I really can't talk about legally. I saved us about $200,000 for all the work that I did on the film. So part of that's not in our full budget, but once that's released, then we can't sell it for as much as we're hoping to sell it for. But yeah, that's another good part about that is that through kind of building this scene, like our crew was amazing. I can honestly say we couldn't make this film anywhere else besides Oklahoma because everyone was so supportive. In other cities, they kind of get saturated. Like, yeah, we're making a movie. Yeah, guess what? 50 other people are making a movie right now. And so through locations and stuff like that, everyone was super, super supportive, and that's how we were able to keep our costs as low as possible. And our soundtrack is one thing I didn't really talk about. Our soundtrack was a huge part of this film, of kind of doing the John Hughes thing and very teen, angsty film. And 80% of our soundtrack, 80 or 90%, was for Oklahoma artists as well. And that's a big part of what I wanted to do is showcase not only the talent we have on the filmmaking side, but on the music side of it. And I believe in a second, Jared Beck is going to play a song from our soundtrack, and we'll have a slideshow of some other screenshots of the film.
So let's make that happen right now.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Thank you guys.
Seth.